Hello once again and welcome back. This is Hambbage and I'm thrilled to have you tuning in for yet another hardcore vanilla Minecraft adventure. Um, yeah, welcome. Let's get the slide carefully out of the way, make 100% sure that we're not looking at it, and yet another wonderful product of Sweden. So many wonderful goods and athletes. Peter Forsberg. Um, Yeah, let's get launched up and get back into it. So when last we were all together, we were rolling our villagers to finally complete our. I think we're good there. That little bit is just kind of as the world launches and it's trying to get its bearings. Now, did we have any? I think everybody over on this side has a job now, right? You got a job, you get a job. You got a job. Yep, I think we're fully good. So we have to wait for adulthood to arrive for some of these guys. We'd gotten them designated in their rooms, but haven't had much further than that. So let's leave them to their devices. There's a s'mores looking cat. And we'll come back over and check in on our home. I can't remember what what the latest things were. I mean, we're kind of just in this repetitive mode, and that's why the last episode was a bit quicker. Ooh, our sugar's doing very well though, so we'll need that. Oh, I think we were going to do cows for leather was the next priority. Because we need a bunch of books. We got to make a few more lecterns. And certainly, we've been buying up enough to kind of go through our initial stock. So, cows it is. Excuse me, I'm very hiccupy. I didn't really eat or do anything on the break. Just kind of got away for a while, cleared my head. Our previous episode's thunder shower seems to have cleared, although I think for the next little while we're going to be stuck with the cooler temps. It's continuing to kind of drop in the 50s, and after the mid 80s yesterday, definitely dropping a bit. So. Right. So we'll switch over. This is one activity where I kind of will still continue to use my. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. While we've got iron axe, we'll continue to use it up, I guess. What we should do though. Let's switch that and heal up our sword while we can. This is way too congested. And again, I apologize if anybody gets a little motiony on some of our cow processing video. It's a lot of jumping and a lot of moving background as the cows kind of jostle one another. But this is the gritty truth of raising cows for food and profit. It can't all be milk. Well, I think many a dairy farmer would disagree, but for our purposes, milk alone will not get us by. So I didn't really get much inspiration for new cow chopping topics, and I don't think we had left a whole lot unfinished in our previous. for those who may have been distant, who may not have watched the last one or watched it a while ago, we have, over the course of the last 2 episodes, really brought villagers to our lodge and gotten them set. And I was just typing in the intro for the previous video, and decided that it'd probably be more fitting for this one, where hopefully we will finish up the loading of it. But I was going to say, Outpost doesn't really apply to what we built anymore. I mean, this is going to be the cosmopolitan hub of Slow Cooker, the world of Minecraft. It's where it's at. I mean, all water roads, shipping lanes lead to the lodge. That's just the truth. So look, now we can have so many books, and our sword, while not 100%, is certainly better than we started it. Our little axe didn't quite chew itself up, but got closer. Let's just take a look inside here. We don't have any more iron axes at the moment to need to use. I think we're going to drop some torches along our sugar cane once we flip that one more time. We can leave this. That's what we were going to do. Because we certainly want to first enchant our boots with something enchantable. It does go up in the place of honor. Again, we have 2 mending in reserve and a silk touch in reserve. Just 1 or 2? No, we didn't. That's the one we bought. Is there still one downstairs? Why don't we bring that up? Consolidate so we don't risk losing things along the way. And then, oh yeah, we made that our fortune pick. So we still would need another pick. At some point we'll need to craft that, but let's just, so we don't lose track. So we got a couple silk touches at the ready, a couple mendings at the ready. The 2 obvious missing pieces of the equation here are efficiency 5 and unbreaking 3, and as of yet our little villager friends have not produced an offer on those, so still just kind of waiting. Let's go take another of our obligatory victory laps here around our fields, try to keep them loaded and growing as we go. Good. Guess we could have gone around the other way for a little variety, but our bees seem to be, well, maybe they haven't spread a whole lot more. I don't know. Again, we can, we'll save that for next trip. We can go back down. For anyone who hasn't seen the last video, we made a bone meal maker. So we've got that out in our basement, and very loose plans to, at some day, low on the priority list at the moment, bring that up here and put it inside either like a silo or a windmill or something that would kind of speak to the processing or storage of grain. So that's along, but we've got a lot of our home to build. Now, I don't think we have enough. Yeah, we've kind of cooked off what sandstone we do have. Are you the same wandering trader or a new one? Same one. Okay, nothing we really need there. We'll drop these off, put them in the right place. Sea s'mores. Just up and down. Someday we'll figure our boats back out, but for now, I'm kind of working as designed. So this should get us back over in plenty of time to see if our villager friends have any new additions that we need to get moved into separate private bedrooms, and then get them settled in. That's the real goal. I know our sugar here is really close to ready. That helps when you are just standing there rolling villagers, but it's got a little bit more room to finish. And with the sun going down, we'll get in. Call this particular mission good. And the primary mission being time killing, as we're really just waiting for villagers to grow up. Alright, who's stuck where? That's an open bed. We don't know if it's yours. Oh, you could have been in that one. So now who's got? So very good, he's grown up. Not here, not here. That's somebody that... Oh, you just need to come around here. Welcome back to your bed, sir. So 2 more for tomorrow. Very good. 2 more that are growing. We had just made more beds last time, and I expect... Okay, we've got 1 ready to be claimed. So let's... I guess I could have just broken the one that's in there, not being used, but let's get this one set. Now, oh, let's put it in the right spot. Nobody wants to get missed. So, bed here. Leave that open. Close that to avoid confusion. Open that. First of all, let's go check for stuck in gate kiddos. Because I don't totally believe that we didn't have somebody else around. You seen any bed check? Anybody out of their beds? Mr. Counselor in Training Gollum? Well, I guess not. Okay. Fair enough. Break. And break. Now he's up. He's got to go. Got nowhere else to go. Oh, come on. It's not that hard, man. Just get in bed. Okay. Very good. Got 2 more ready to go. We're going to drop these. Now, next time we process bread, we're going to actually just give 1 stack and see how many that gets, because we should have 2 unallocated beds now. If those 2 breed, we've got to do that twice more than the last 2 that breed in here. We can either just leave as is. We don't even need to breed them if it works out. We can leave those beds vacant in the unlikely event that we need to expand. But if we did need to expand, we could then just turn the breeding back on again, or we could switch those into 2 more. Seriously, where did you just come from? Are you kidding me? What? Who's playing pranks? Villagers? Seriously, I came down here. That's a zombie. Now I hear him talking. Where is this guy? Alright, let's just set up a bed, see if we can make him materialize. Oh, and I have to check the video, unless that gets answered. I was standing right here, and I know I saw a villager just standing there, like ghost villager, but fully fleshed out and ready. It was like he was sleepwalking or something. He was one of the brown shirts. So I guess the best thing we can do is leave the bed for him. Him, her, whatever. But then there's that. Is that the sound of new golems forming? See, we got that guy, but now that guy's out there. Maybe that's what that drowned, I don't know, splashy sound is. Huh. Don't know. Mystical night. But we did get another golem. That's cool. Now, my understanding is that the golems form, I call them golem, like the character in the Lord of the Rings, golems, that when they form, it's because a villager feels frightened. But if that sound was correct and the new guy was a newly created... Now that's fighting. I know those sounds. Yeah, he's just mashing on a skelly. Oh, you're in for it now. Yeah, when they do form, it's because villagers are distressed, and I wouldn't think that that would happen while they're asleep, but maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just a calculation that does. Okay, we want to watch you guys come to start. See any hearts going on? Do you need more bread? Do we have bread ready? Or I think we gave all of it. We got another hay bale, right? Yeah. I am kind of willing to sacrifice this hay bale on the altar of progress. If we can keep the steady stream of future librarians of Slow Cooker cranking, it's good. But like I said, this time, instead of just, a bunch of stacks, and this may kind of come back to bite me, if none of them have enough in their own inventories, none of them may show hearts, but I kind of prefer that just a few of them get enough to do the throwing thing. Maybe that consolidates it up enough to get some hearts. Oh yeah, there's some hearts. Alright, good work, guys. Now, does that only mean one little villager? I don't know. What I do know is that in throwing multiple stacks, we've often ended up with a lot of those little thunderclouds. Oh, still cleaning up the trash out there, huh, Mr. Golem? All right. Everybody on that side's good. Everybody on this side. Ooh, another one. So we got 4 opportunities to offer employment. Perfect. You're first. All right. 2 things we're really looking for. Everybody knows what they are now. It's no secret. That's not one of them. That's not it either. Iron may get pretty old. Or it may not if it just breaks here. Alright, come on. Something we want. Already got that. This is the trade-off of grabbing everything at first opportunity. You kind of don't split out the possibilities of getting good stuff. I guess it's, you wait there, you wait here, whatever, but and overall maybe more efficient because you don't have to just keep waiting again and again, right? You're just getting all that, and that's where you're kind of pushing out your RNG, right? At some point along the way of getting everything else, I'm going to get the two offers that I really want, and until then, I'm just on easy street. Now again, the best part of this is throughout it all, we've already had mending. And getting that early is so nice. And I can't recall, I think we took sharpness, but did we take a smite 5 too? I don't think we have yet. did we take that? That's cheaper than it was, right? We took Depth Strider. Yep. Let's just run around and double check. I don't think anybody has, because we were considering it here, and he was the last guy, right? We took Depth Strider, but Respiration at 24, why not? It is a great enchantment. We may need to redo our helmet anyway. So let's just get it out of the way. Oh. And we'll call it good. We've got a few more rolls here to really try to come through. Nope. Up one. Up one. And that was 24, I believe, right? Yes. Perfect. Pleasure doing business with you, sir. Hello, sir. You're next. Do you feel like an efficiency guy or an unbreaking will kind of guy? Not particularly a vein of anthropods. I know I said I'd take any max, but that one is an exception. We saw Sweeping Edge 3 earlier and I passed. Definitely not going to take 2. Nope. I'll sit up a little bit for all this excitement. I don't want to sleep in his bed. Terrible mending. I mean, not as bad. I've seen it for higher, so you're not the worst, but that's not my idea of appealing. But neither is that. Nope. We can do this all day. Just saying, the quicker you get on about your business, the quicker we can move on to other things, sir. So, now that we've, for those of you who watched in World 2 and World 5, which preference do you have if you ever have rolled librarians like this? What's your preference? Do you try to, will roll through your first librarian until you get whatever enchantment you're really looking for, and then prioritize that way and just keep on and on and on until you get, top priority, number 1, and then switch to the next on your list? Or will you kind of do what I've done in this world and just shop for value, right? Oh, hey, careful. Just shop for value, whatever are top level and useful. Like, yep, let's do it. I'm talking about it, and we've still got 10 over on that other side to fill in. Okay, so let's take a Sweeping Edge. Locked in, and that was at 25. Again, at least we'll use that one twice. For 25. Alright. And, again, not a top sword option, but definitely one I'm kind of to the point of actually putting on my sword without too much reservation. We keep finding good things. We keep using up our supply of adults here. Hopefully they'll continue on. We're desperately gonna need more bookcases here, but we also desperately want to find some of these 2 enchants, and you know, again, the challenge is going to be, you know, what do we do if we see them really expensive? Do we again? We've seen channeling way cheaper. Um, you know, do we just take them to have them, knowing that we have Riptide, whatever? Um, take them to have them and call it good, or do we have any kind of concern? You know, I'm talking like, you know, either one could be 64 diamonds a pop just for a single book. Is that enough, knowing that we have two appreciative villagers in our igloos, and if we can just lock it, then, you know, we can go, you know, someday take just a painful episode to roll two villagers until, you know, those two come up as cheap as possible. Um, is there a point at which we decide it's not worth it to even try here anymore? Um, I don't know, but that's all I need to see for now. Um, let's max what I can out of you. 32 is just fine, by the way, for a top level. Nope, not enough there. All right, well, that's enough to kind of compliment. Oh, and it was time you went to bed. Perfect, perfect. You want to get in there? I don't know if you do or not. You just went with the popsidoozles. Ah, fooled you. Okay, we got two beds over here. One's taken. There goes the other. Get in there. Go on. You're so close. Good. Okay. Now two more here. Oh, now what? You're still left? Man, well, at least that's blocked off. Let's see if we can get you. Oh, excuse me, sir. Sir? Just need that. Okay. Where are you? Which side? Okay, so this side. Here you go. Go have a bed. Hop on in. Good. All right. Well, we're already past. If they keep going and fill those two beds, we can move those two into here. That's it. That's all she wrote. Let's count now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. Oh, and we never put a sign up for him. This is an unbreaking 3 at 32. Fantastic. See, all I needed to do was lay out the awful alternative. That now we need to go and get that for one emerald a book, or however, you know, I don't know what the minimum price is that it can be, but whatever that is. Okay, let's. We want those. I wanted to put these away. We're all out of signs. Oh, we haven't harvested the paper yet. Let's sleep. Harvested the sugar to make the paper. That's what I really need. Oh, so good. Unbreaking. That really sets us up. Oh, creeper. Creeper, creeper, creeper. I forgot we had a flame. There we go. I don't know if that's all of them. They will love to hang out in that sugar cane. Sneak up on us from there. And again, our trusty guardians will not necessarily go get any creepers. Any around here? Oh, but we are ready to rock when it comes to sugarcane. Probably not. With all those books in hand, he probably won't come close to holding one. But we can do some planting. That one. Oh, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Someday this is how we'll be harvesting melons, once we have that efficiency. It will be glorious. Alright, so very good there. Let's do our torches. And this is, I think it would grow just fine with the light we already have, but I kind of think this may help keep a few of those creepers at bay. And really, that's my concern at the moment. There we go. Alright, let's go make books, bookcases, lecterns. Oh, you know what we should do? Let's not do that yet. Let's go drop off some of these that we bought. And usually I end up with an anvil over at where I'm working. I probably should have done that. I kept thinking, when I was making that little corner for the crafting table and the couple non-trade good chests, I don't think I use a furnace that much, but I kept thinking, it's not the furnace, it was the anvil that I typically would build, so I could just start slapping on some of those books. But we're so close here, and it actually helps our crops to keep coming back that we may as well run them back over here. So, first up, in the pecking order, let's get the sword. Got 2 here for it. Sweeping edge. Oh no! But it's not impossible to put on, so that's okay. Now let's do these. Again, the tools, and aside from an efficiency 5 book to slap on there, which make it pricey, but should still be okay. That takes care of our axe. It's all done. The rest... Oh, yeah, we do have a spare respiration. That definitely gets filed away. So, another thing that we can now do... This one wants to go up here. These are both, put on as soon as possible. And so are the unbreakings. Let's see if we can get unbreaking on either of these two with our current levels. We have 2? Yeah, I don't think that's likely. I didn't realize we'd spent quite so much. Yeah. That's going to be a stretch. But also fine. We just, I'll make that the unbreaking stack. I can keep those books there, might as well. The rest of these are all going over, but we can help our inventory by just making the books here, since we're here. So paper, full stacks, and then book, full stacks. Not too bad. I will hang on to the paper. Bring it back over. We can swap boats if we want to. Little baby cows haven't grown up. We're moving pretty quick now. But how's our field doing? Good progress. I think even the melons we still can give a little bit more time to. But everything else, is 3/4 done, maybe? Probably over 2/3 at least. So yeah, bees, keep doing your thing. I don't know if there's anything that just immediately gives us XP that we particularly would want. I do just want to go peek. See how we've done. Just remind me, I don't even want to hit. I don't even want to pick it up. I don't want to carry it, but that's odd. Oh, I guess because it takes so many to make any. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, it takes so many seeds in that to make the instant bone meal that would lower down. So not as overwhelming on the output side as I'd kind of hoped or expected. I'm gonna take these boxes back with me. I think chests, boxes. I would like to have just a junk box over there, and I mean I know we're gonna trade so fast that there's really no need for all the produce boxes that we have, right? Now we just need a mixed one. It's it's temporary at best. It's only to hold it while we're trying to grow those early villagers. Maybe something to remember for the future. Hambbage, just hold that confidence that you got. But I mean, we use pretty heavily. 4 double chests I think would be easily used no matter what when you're trying to, bring over a surplus of beets and wheat and everything before you roll the trades. That's certainly reasonable. Looks like we got some more young'uns. Unless those are just the ones from these beds going back over to visit. Alright, everybody going to bed? This should help us. Yep, get to bed. Lights out. Go on. Bed. You're big. That's good. Bed. Now, I think we never got a profession to you. You're little big, so 2 more. Of course, we now have to make sure that we don't already have a stock of lecterns, but we want a few more than what we've what we currently need, because even when you get down to the last one, you don't want them to accidentally steal it from you, temporarily pick it into their inventory. So that's 4, 6. Let's make 6, and then we'll have a couple extra. 6 would be 18. And we're not coming close on that. Oh, we don't... Never mind. I think I get to thinking that the bookcases are the same as the books in terms of volume. I'm like, oh man, we don't have enough for all that. And we do. We're not struggling to make books anymore. Okay, 6 more bookcases. Now we need slabs. We'll see how that does. Elect. How is that? What happened? Did I not shift make my... Oh, no, I didn't. I used the wrong stack of books. Alright, so 4 more. And then 1 more. That's all we need. Now on slabs. We'll get this. It's a good thing it's just nighttime. We're not ruining any villagers' daytime hours. Okay, we got chests. Let's just store those. We don't urgently need them. Now we can go store the paper over here. I mean, it's a potential trade good, but really it's books. We're getting a little low on emeralds. As easy come, easy go as they are. One high-priced efficiency book, and we're back down to nothing. So hopefully those crops come along pretty quick here. And I haven't seen. I may have missed it, but so far I haven't seen anybody that's looking to trade paper, which is kind of unfortunate. Do we need signs too? Did I lose those somewhere? Oh my god, I dropped them off, so maybe we do need a few more signs too. We've got sticks, we don't have enough planks, so let's not try to completely overwhelm ourselves. Sign. This is another one like boats. Jungle, spruce, come on, oak. I was so hurrying to not let it change. I just did the full... We got a lot of signs. Well, that's alright. Everybody likes signs, right? We can put signs on everything. We can make a house out of signs. No, we don't need to do that. Okay, signs, lecterns, books to trade with emeralds. We don't need these. And we really don't need to carry around the odd wheat at this point. I could probably be traded. Anything hiding in our chests that we've forgotten about? I don't think so. How's our cocoa bean farm? Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, there we go. We got a full stack. We are master cocoa bean traders now. Traders? At least farmers. All right. So, this is the final surge here, boys. I hope you're all ready. Got another candidate. So now you guys can kind of amaze. Feel free to amaze on how quickly you want to make this happen. Come on. I just said quickly. At least take your job back. 5 for a silk touch, and he trades paper. No, that's all right. We're not gonna undersell our original silk touch guy. Yeah, I'll do that though. 17. That's certainly got a value. Oh, normally I'd like to go lower on that. Oh well. Shh. We're never gonna need to buy. One more time. One more time we may need to buy. Hey guys, how you doing? Just making house calls here. They call me the trade doctor. Alright, what do you got? No. And hopefully with that, shh, don't tell them, but hopefully having seen that Aqua Affinity, they won't think I'm holding out for a particular trade here. Make them a little looser. I've talked before, I don't know what Frostwalker is exclusive with. I'm not a... We already have this, right? And cheaper? But let's just make sure. I'm almost 100% certain we already have it, but I'm going to reaffirm that. There's power. With sharpness over on the other side. Sweeping edge. I mean, we have it on our sword, and our sword was looting 3, right? So we have this trade. But at this point, we're not. Look at that. For 17. The guy over there wants 64 for your trade, dude. Just so you know, you are my hero. Yeah, that was part of why I wanted to walk over. I knew it was. I knew we had a better deal. I wanted to celebrate it. All right, was that you with the crazy trade? All right, we're gonna go ahead and switch you up because that's the illustration of the range, and why just getting lucky is pretty important in this little game. Punch 2. No thank you. Prot 1. We haven't... Oh, that's another one we haven't seen yet. It's definitely necessary. Or it would be preferred. Not ultimately necessary because we don't... you don't need to once all your pieces have it, it's not tops. Unlike that. Okay, just ratchet up the intensity of that one quite a bit, and we're ready to talk. Oh yeah, now you're trying to show off. No, I'm not forgetting that sharpness for 64. That was crazy. I know you're not the discount guy, but you don't have... what the... Stop dodging me. Clearly showing you're not the discount guy. And you're not the even anything appealing guy. Still. Come on. That I don't have, but at max possible price and with our low emeralds, no. Can wait. Oh, that though. That's why we waited. Done. Yes, sir. So that, effectively does our chest, which only needs prot 4. No, we still want feather fall. We haven't seen feather falling yet, so we still want that for our boots. But certainly we don't even have to roll. We can just apply books on our chest armor. I think we already have them all in stock. We just need the levels to do it. Yeah, I mean, that'll go on our helmet. Prot 4, a Unbreaking 3, and a Mending will go on our chest. That's all we need there. And we're going to be in great shape. Great shape. So, let's see. I came back out. I'm tempted to go because we may not be able. In fact, yeah, we gotta do that. How? I think they're still going, so I'm gonna leave the bread. Let's leave all. Oh no, not that. Let's leave all this stuff though, and let's go drop off these and try to harvest. Now we need emeralds badly. So we'll take what we can get. I mean, seriously though, 17 for Prop 4. Everything has been just incredibly good deals, really. A couple that I've just been like, well, I'll need to buy them once, so let's just take them at a high price. But, and you know, that all changes at efficiency. But seriously, at this point, with everything else that we've gotten, we'll take it at whatever price to keep it. And then, yeah, we can go to the igloo guys and just roll until we get it at a cheap price and not have to go. So it's definitely coming together. And what's more, I mean, they may hold out. You know, if we continue to see other stuff that we need, we can want one of those and nope, one of these. So that's our chest already done, ready to go. We just need the levels to apply it. And you know, again, buy one more of those for another 17, and we've got. I think let's build our boots. So this is going to go on our helmet when we have extra. Where was the? Didn't we have depth strider? Okay, here it is. Let's build our boots. They'll be this. We'll obviously want the prop for, but we want to roll our boots, hopefully, unless we see it offered for feathering falling 4. And this, of course, will go on our sword as a last thing. So, need a lot of levels. It's going to be a while before we really get a chance to roll our boots. But when we do, we're going to be in pretty good shape. So, okay, yeah, we were going to harvest, but let's take the boat over. How are we doing on time? We can at least maybe run the melons. I know this is going to be tight, but I do have my bed, so we can just sleep here. That'll work. Alright, melons, you're up. Ready or not. Man, how recently did we do these melons? Was it this episode or was it the end of the last one? I don't know. I wonder how we're doing on time. I once again have no idea what time I started relative to the real world. It's afternoon, and it was in the afternoon. Very good. So these being our best value, especially these pumpkins, really were ready to go. So that's very good. You know, kind of want everything right now from trading. We want the experience. We want the emeralds, certainly. The last thing now that we need are the breeding. I think we're so close to done that's kind of an irrelevancy. We're going to be rolling these last few guys a lot of times, probably, you know, unless we get lucky. And And there's not many things left that we need to take, right? We considered Smite 5. We'll need one of those to make a Smite sword eventually, but not at max price. We can, once levels are no longer an issue, we can just roll on on enchants too to see if we can pick that up. So yeah, I don't think I need to rush to harvest these. They're our lowest emerald production. And we can just, come back and get them tomorrow. So let's go. Hope that, I say hope loosely, and use the melons and pumpkins that we have to get back up to a full stack of emeralds that'll lock in at least one more trade, and go from there. The only reason it's probably a lot of overkill, but the only reason I stopped there just to make sure I had a full stack. My concern would be getting efficiency 5 at a price that's higher than my available emeralds, and not being able to get over, get some, and get back before that had changed. That's a lot of overkill. They don't change that quickly. There's not that level of turnover. They'll hold it for I don't know what it is, an in-game week or something. It's not like within the course of a day they'll do it. But I have been horribly saddened in the past to at times find that the villager I thought was holding the great trade for me no longer was when I returned with emeralds or whatever they were looking for. So something to look out for. Let's look for a sale. I don't know that there will be one. We haven't done too much trading recently, but we would take it if there was. There's not. Missed on that. Is that... No, let's get our sword again. So not to threaten you with a brandished weapon, but we should... We're trying to max out here. So let's get everything. I think that's enough to do a wheat trade. Nope. Not unless somebody goes on sale. Did I pick the right guy? Don't know. I wish I knew who was who. Well, wait. The guy I already traded with should be X'd out on melons, right? Or did I just stop? It'd be kind of, and some people much more efficiently, put these into like a single block space and kind of leave them where they can't move. You always know which one you're dealing with and all that kind of stuff. I do that to an extent, but these farmers, I kind of knowingly suffer through a little bit of movement and guesswork. Alright, well that should be enough. Our sword is all better. We're up to level 6, so we can at least apply one enchant at some point. No rush though. We're back here, and the whole point of that little venture was to get us enough emeralds that we could accept a good trade if it gets offered. So, you guys are already and in your rooms? Did we put you a sign? No, I don't even think we accepted you, did we? Or did we? Oh yeah, you're prot 4. Sign. One down. Protection. For 17 emeralds. Crazy. Alright, you are all good. 2 more in their rooms, grown up. Let's go. Nope. No, we don't have a lot of time left in your day, sir. No, we already got that. But you're very consistent on price. Oh, you're so excited you're spinning? Good for you. Maybe these prices are dizzy. again. Oh, I'm so dizzy, I didn't know I offered you that trade already. No. We got 3 more chances here. Smite, what are our other... Feather Falling 4 would be a great find. What else are we looking for still? Now, now is the time that maybe Impaling 5 would be good. And I get, that's the other thing I could do is once we fill up those 2, we could have a couple villagers in the farmer section at the end. They could pick up extra trade librarian rolls. We already got that for cheaper. Got that stronger and cheaper. Riptide never go. Riptide again is the kind of hokey fly with a trident thing, but it has to be raining or you're under. The real thing is you kind of like it's like one of those dive scooter kind of thing. They're not like scooter shaped. They're I don't know, shaped like a drone, much older than drones. But they would just you'd hold onto your hand and kind of be extended out behind them, and they would propel you through the water, whatever those things are. That's kind of what it functions as, but when it's raining, you can then fly through the air on the same deal. Paling, again, we'd take it at a 5, not partial, though. And that, that would be a sit-on until we get a trident, but then Impaling is Paling and loyalty are the top priorities there. But as advertised, we may roll a whole bunch of villagers here for a while now. That protection was just fantastic, and the unbreaking too. Fortunately, we can just use a diamond axe and not have to chop with iron. I just wanted to use up that one, but I think, upon reflection, unless we're just doing a bunch of lumbering or something, why are we not just using our good axe now? And that frees up an inventory spot. We don't have to carry a spare around. Again, haven't checked the episode time. I did check right at the beginning. I'm pretty confident we don't have a slide in front of our face, but beyond that, I don't know. That may be the first one that's cheaper than what we got. But again, we'll need the one more to remake our helmet. That may be cheaper than what we got. And some of this, you expect. It's just that's cheaper. Don't care though, we're getting it cheap when it matters on the stuff that we're going to buy multiple times. Now, of course, unbreaking in the teens, I think that's what we had last time. That would certainly be better than 32, but 32 is manageable, and to have it, I don't care. Once we get most of our gear built up, we won't have to trade that much, and it'll just be kind of an afterthought to go run the fields once, know that you're going to come out of it with enough emeralds to get whatever it is you need. If you need to build a new pickaxe, So those things are not 3. That would have tempted me at a good price. A little picky and choosy, Trident stuff. I don't particularly. That's. Did you hear me say that? That's a pretty good price at a pretty good thing. Now, we could use that more than once, right? We're going to want one Is it loyalty? Well, I guess I gotta. Are loyalty and channeling the mutually exclusive ones, or why is it always that you need two tridents? Or is it just that you don't want to run around with channeling on your main weapon? I don't think channeling and impaling are different. Shh, I'm thinking. All right. What are the possible ones we have left? Feather enchanting 5, feather falling 4, um, smite 5, loyalty impaling 5. That's 5. So that would be one more than we currently have. We'd already be one in. Am I missing major needs? Any, piercing for the crossbow? I think we could roll books enough for that. I'm not terribly worried. I don't know. We've got fortune. We've got infinity, silk touch. No fire aspect, but I'm not. If I never put that on the sword, I'm not too terribly worried about it. If I do, great, but we'll just get in it. If I wouldn't go out of my way. I've got a book with the top fire aspect 2, I think is the top. Same with punch, right? I don't care that much about it. Piercing is the most necessary in a crossbow, but it's not that much. I'm trying to talk this myself into this, sir. So don't push. And the other thing is, if we never get efficiency at all, maybe that's just the game telling me you need that from the igloo guy. Like, why are you fighting this? So we're gonna take it. Loyalty 3 at 13. Eventually we'll want one more. I kind of kept him up late. I thought so. Okay, nope. That's okay. You can just chill. We already got you. Loyalty 3, 13. Thank you, sir. Go to bed. Go back to bed. Shh. Okay. Good. All right. He's ready. Nobody in these two. Can we move? Oh, he's already big, though. Are you not a farmer? All right. So good. Hi, kitty. You want to make a friend? I think I might have a friend coming in here for you. So let's set a bed. Set 2 beds. I don't care which one they particularly take. Let's come in here. You get broken. How are you big already? Oh, this is wonderful. That's, when you get ahead of the curve, it's great because you're rolling with other adults as other adults are being set up. Now, let's do a sweep and see if anybody's stuck in any gates or in any rooms. Hopefully not hiding. If so, I'd like to get them moved over. I hear somebody. Hello, sir. Come on over. Come on in. Good job. All right. We are fully stocked, and I think we're going to leave these beds for a minute and see how this plays out. What we want to do. Across these 3, if we hit efficiency 4, we may never get to the peripheral ones. If we don't hit it, then we'll fill those up, and then we'll make a couple more in there to turn into librarians as well, and just You know, we'll have two of them. We'll have to kind of juggle around, but that won't be impossible. Sound like a plan? Let's check time. Oh, just over an hour. This is what I famously say. All right, I double checked, no slide. That's what I famously see these things at about, hour and 8, hour and 10, something. We're right in between there. So I see that. I'm like, oh, we got all the time in the world. And the next thing I know, it's been an hour. So we'll see how these last 3 go. But they're all ready. We're kind of just ready to rock. Good news is we didn't even get desperate for more emeralds to continue. So it's the advantage of our cheap price. All right. You heard me talking. You were standing right there the whole time I saw you, so you don't know. Don't like it. You know what we're looking for. I don't particularly care if... Oh, I didn't even think about the fishing around ones. Whatever. We'll preferably combine a couple found in diving adventures and then link them up. Throw a mending on when we're all done, maybe an unbreaking, but no, it's maybe a little cheaper than what we paid. I don't care. Already got it. Lame. There's always... Would you get out of my face, though? Just pick where you want to be and let me... 3, not 4, though. It's close. We just did that. That's what we just got. And it was cheaper. Not high enough. Come on. Yeah, the one guy that won't stay out of my face then won't come back to his lectern when I place it. You guys must be having a real conversation over there. No. We're going to keep this up. I'm not going anywhere. Somehow got a weird mic placement. It's like just outside my lip. I hope that's not weird, but let me get a twist here. We're just going to look at his awesome trade-off. I'm going to take a sip of my drink here. When you realize you've been talking for an hour straight, you're like, yeah, that's why I'm a little thirsty. Quick charge. It's another intriguing one. I don't think I'd ever prioritize it as a librarian trade particularly, but intriguing for the crossbows. Just because they you guys have seen with the pillagers when they come chasing around, it takes a while to draw those, so the quick shots can they'll never get to the same speed as the bows, but quick enough for ready use. All right, my friend. I'd prefer if you offered me something while they're still fresh in my mind. I don't want to have to forget the remaining ones that I really want and have prioritized. Nope, not at all. Not at that. 4 can get tempting just to get things moving a little bit, but not at 53 a pop. No way, sir. That's like a teens kind of, okay, yeah, I'll just buy doubles and combine them. For the tools, that actually works. Half price sale on unbreaking. I don't think we need it. We can afford the 32. That's what he set us up at. That's why we build a big farm. And we already got that. Come on, man. Doesn't have to be a stare down every time we place the lectern. Just now, what are you doing? It's like you're. But some of your brethren that have been the most difficult have ended up giving me the best trades around. So I don't mind dealing with your personality if you show me the goods, right? Goes a long way. It's like the kind of what I think of as the prima donna football players, right? Those no, those stars with such talent that they get away with just these kind of me first or trouble personalities and get chance after chance after chance. It's just kind of like, yeah, the same rules that everybody else has to live by, you kind of get to float above because it's true, talent. They know, if you are that valuable to a team or a business or whatever, it doesn't have to just be sports, but that's the most visible. If you're that valuable in whatever it is you do to your organization, whether that's a team or whatever else, they're not, you can kind of call them on it. Like, are you really going to stand on your you can't be 5 minutes late to a meeting thing for me? Do you want to make me mad? Do you want to make me go seek greener pastures? Because I bet there's somebody out there that doesn't care. So you kind of, it's a way for those superstars to have their value reinforced. The trade-off is, those people are all going to get old eventually. And when they do, and those things start to fail, are they the people that can adapt and understand that you have to rely on knowledge and love of the game, or knowledge that grows as a love of the game, where you'll outwork the younger and more talented people that are coming, and understand that there's a point when the organization that has put up with your nonsense for a long time suddenly no longer see that value anymore, and then it may swing back hard the other way, much harder and much faster than they ever anticipated, where it's like, oh, you saying that, because you're asking for money, we can get rid of you without looking like the bad guys and never have to deal with you. You're not as good as you thought you were. So it's a sharp edge, and in my mind, it's always better to conduct yourself in a way that people will gladly, or look for the ways to keep you around, because you're a leader, or because you're a role model, or because you'll just take the time to not be a pain in the butt to work with on a daily basis. Whether you're in school or whether you're in sports or anything, you're going to have to see the same people every day, and they'll value the fact that you're somebody that they enjoy being around, as opposed to somebody that it's like a job to have to be around, and that's something we can all control. It's kind of what I equate to attitude. You can always control your attitude, no matter what you do. And video games are a great way in this kind of recorded format. You can hear me when I start to get frustrated at the game or things. I start to feel, you have to be aware of that and kind of manage it. Well, the same thing goes through most things in life. You can always step back and go, how am I going to manage this situation for myself? How am I going to take control of it and not let the circumstances affect my outlook, demeanor, that, check the box, list it, whatever, how I treat my coworkers, my family, my friends, whatever. Am I going to be the person that takes out what's going on in my life on them, or am I going to be the person that's like, just having you guys around actually makes that stuff a lot easier to deal with. And, I value you guys despite whatever it is I'm going through, whether it's the frustrations of a bunch of baby zombies underwater that seems like it's a little more than really should be thrown at you at any one time, or if it's, the fact that you're being asked to do the big project at work and other people are just kind of, doing routine stuff, and you've been asked to do that 3 times in a row and it's getting old. That's a time to step back and go, all right, how am I going to shape how I look at that? And granted, unwelcome, right? It's not what you were looking forward to. Why are you walking around as a librarian not in a... Where's your home, dude? Oh, because I let the other guy out. All right, well, I'm glad you're back. You got a nice little thing. And again, the more you deal with these, the more you kind of... Okay, this is not... He's contained. He can't go too far. And as you better understand that his bed is claimed. We can't see it, but he and the others around do. The more you understand, all right, if I just, make sure everybody else is content, he'll go back to wherever it is he came from. But I was surprised to see him bouncing around. Anyway, attitude. Yeah, I am a firm believer in that stuff. And, that was how I approached a lot of my professional stuff. And, you have to balance off. You have to have other people in your life that you can say, am I right to keep this attitude, use that example. You've done a lot of projects. In one way, and what I view as kind of the positive way, is you're being given more opportunities to show your value and earn opportunities. There are always people watching those, right? How are you doing on these? Do you, can we put more? And while you may feel like you're being underpaid for what you're trying to do and it's not in your current job description, is it the kind of stuff that would constitute the job description you'd like to have or like to grow into? If it is, keep it up and do it with a smile, and don't just turn around the first chance you get and go, oh, I've been doing all this extra stuff, I need it, When you have a review or an opportunity to talk about those kind of things, then say, I've noticed over the, past year, 6 months, quarter, whatever, whatever, that you guys have used me for a lot of new things I wasn't necessarily doing when I started this job or, when I took on this position, whatever. So, does that mean that I have some more opportunities? I've appreciated that. I'd like to continue to do more of that kind of work, but, what does that mean for my job, my job that I'm currently, do I still have to, can I kind of look to transition some of that to the rest of my team who haven't been doing those? If you present those kinds of things positively as, hey, I appreciate this is an opportunity. I want to grow into it. But it's overwhelming at times. Are there, are there ways that, wow, that's a good price. Are there ways that I can grow into this or manage more of this kind of work without getting overwhelmed? What are techniques? People love to hear that kind of feedback when it's a boss or manager or something. They may not even know they love to hear it, but when you ask, I notice that you've done these kind of things and you manage really well. You don't seem overwhelmed. You never seem like you're just getting pulled in a million different directions. I'm ignoring that channeling. How do I go about getting to that where this doesn't upset me? That's a way to kind of let them know, hey man, I'm really being stretched here. They'll one feel that you're a great person to work with. You're complimentary of them as you're kind of telling them this is a lot for me to handle. Um, and they'll see it as you want to continue to grow. You're not saying, "Hey, call off the dogs. This is more than I bargained for. I don't want it." You're saying, "Hey, I am ready for a challenge. I don't want to just be a desk clerk for a hotel for the rest of my life. I want to manage the hotel. So keep it coming, and I'll by the time I've gotten some experience and done all those kind of things." Not at 63. Again, that was one of the ones we were considering, but I don't need it at max price for something where I don't even have a Trident yet, and it could be a long time before I do. So, yeah, that's just a topic. Sorry, I didn't even really mean to get into it. I don't know how we really got into attitude. Oh, I was talking about this guy's attitude, and that he could get by if he gave me a good trade. Well, so far, your attitude seems to improve. You're not as in the way as much, but you haven't exactly made good on the other side of that. But yeah, obviously a topic I often go off on history and stuff, but I definitely look at kind of how people of all levels work in a workplace environment. What are ways that you can kind of improve yourself or show people that you're ready to improve, and what are the things that kind of people get overlooked along the way. A big complaint that I hear a lot is the people who get ahead are always the jerks. They're the type A personalities, if you've heard that, the aggressive, self-promoting and aggrandizing, where I'm better, I'm better than all of you. And it's kind of one of those what goes around comes around situations I've found where, yeah, those people may get a lot of attention. And yes, you, especially when, if you're asked to do a self-review, which I was asked a lot in my various jobs over the years, if you're very entry level or, like review or retail or something, nobody's going to ask you, your review shows up, sales and stuff like that. It's the numbers. It's not performance against goals and that kind of stuff. But anywhere where you're being asked to be measured against certain team or corporate goals or anything, just the health of the business. Anytime that you're going to go into a quarterly review or anything, even if you're not asked to do a self review, kind of treat it like your next interview. That this is your time. And I really do. As I'm looking at some of these kind of things for myself right now, I look at those as extensions of my initial interview process, right? It's a process, and when you do your first day on a job, that was a good price on mending, by the way. Not that ours is bad. So, yeah, when you're looking for a job, and in that process, it can seem like a long, endless, when am I ever going to get something? But the right opportunities have a way of finding themselves, and when they do, and you'll probably go through a lot of interviewing, whether it's a summer job in high school or whether it's a long-term career type job. You'll go through a lot of interviews and probably through a lot of different jobs, some of which you find quickly you can't stand, others of which you're like, man, I loved that job, and pretty soon the manager is telling you, sorry, but you were totally unaccountable. You were totally man, another good unbreaking. You didn't meet our expectations. We got to let you go and get somebody else in here. I think everybody needs to quit one job, and everybody needs to probably get fired from one to really, really. And ideally, you do that in high school type age, or at least in college, when you're going through kind of garbage jobs. And I say that as I've talked about, one of my jobs in college was one of the best experiences of my life, doing the produce and flowers and all that kind of stuff. Retail selling taught me so much about the actual stuff that's needed to make a business work. Never will I forget a lot of the lessons I learned there. And that was, basically a throwaway garbage job. I was cheap labor for a guy that was starting kind of a business, but he was willing to give me every opportunity in that case, and really show me what all it took. And we did. I don't know how much I've talked really about this job. Certainly we talked about the customer side, and I've at times talked about plants and corn, produce and all that kind of stuff. Again, this is a long time ago. I haven't had this job in a while, but one of the things that in fact, the way that he really got started on it, I think it's a long time ago, and I wasn't there at the very beginning, but it started as a corn roasting business. And think of your local town festivals, 4th of July or a parade day, or just summer music festivals, things like that, where you have vendors around, and so many of those are, like the pizza guy, the beer truck, and then you have some various like sandwiches and things like that. Well, because he was connected with a farmer who was trying to maximize the return. Anything you can sell for retail, right, is better than wholesaling produce to somebody who supplies grocery stores, and from there they set a commodity price, not a customer price, and you're subject to the fluctuations of the market, and it's pretty low. You're basically selling by the field, right? It may be the bushel or whatever, but you're basically saying, I will sell you, all of my crop. It's this many bushels for X amount of dollars. Certainly that's the way large commercial farms and most of your crop goes, because you're not going to give it the TLC that is needed to make customers happy to pay the prices that you need to charge to make it profitable. Well, so retail is better if you can get close to the price that the customer is paying as the farmer. You're doing really well. Even better than that, if you can get the prepared food price again, and kind of think of an ear of corn, right? If you cook down and carve off that corn and it becomes the frozen corn that you get at the grocery store, you've got a number of ears of corn in each of those bags, and you may get 3 of those bags for $1. The like steam fresh, a side of corn that you're going to cook for dinner for your family. So like 3 for $1, right? For multiple ears in each of those bags. So really pretty cheap. That's the commodity price turned around to the customer. Then you have the produce stand, the fresh sweet corn. And in the grocery store, maybe that's, 3 ears for $1, whatever. And probably pretty consistent with what we were charging. I don't know if it would have changed by now or anything. Probably. And I haven't bought fresh sweet corn in a long time. It fails by comparison when I'm out here compared to what I knew growing up. That's not to. There's great farmers markets and stuff. I try to frequent them around, but it's. It's a moving target, and when you've been on the inside, you kind of know some of the tricks and turns. But again, probably nowadays it's probably like, I don't know. It used to be like $2 and $5 for a half dozen and a dozen. Now it's probably gone up, but it's approaching that 3 ears for $1. Well, then you turn that into festival food as a prepared item, and that same ear of corn is now $3 an ear. That's a huge turnaround, and all you're really doing is you've got to bring in a grilling element to cook it up and make it hot and melt butter on it, and unlike unlike meat, or sandwiches or those kind of things, it's not a protein. There's no like hot holding temp or anything like, it's a vegetable, right? And that's a common misconception among people cooking any vegetables. While tender, the degree of softness, things will get mushy the longer you cook them. And as Hambbage in slow cooker world, I see that in overcooking the cabbage with a ham. Excuse me, it gets more mushy. It loses that little bit of tender crisp that tells you you've done it just right. Same thing goes with corn. Sweet corn really, just needs to get hot enough. You're not trying to soften the kernels. Have eaten in my life a ton of raw sweet corn because that used to be my lunch on the gig. You'd get enough carbs and enough sugar to keep you going. Eat a couple ears of corn, and I don't recommend just going out if you haven't eating a half dozen ears of corn. You can guess what that might do to your digestive tract. But if you kind of try an ear raw and maybe with some other food, so it's not just sitting in your gut, and then it's like salads and all that kind of stuff. Eventually, it's more roughage, but it's really good, and you don't need it when it's super fresh like that. Picked that morning, and driven 30 miles or whatever into town. That's good eating right there. You don't need to worry about any cooking, but and people. These are all old spiels, right? This is just long unused, but so ingrained little tracks of memory and mnemonic devices, sales pitch kind of stuff, whatever it is. When you're in retail, you can flip that switch where your brain is doing something, and you can't have the same conversation mentally another time, and you really need people to kind of throw you off it and some people get off on that. It's the kind of playing with the salespeople, right? There are other salespeople, they know, they've been in retail. They're like, oh yeah, all right, let me just ask a question that's so off the wall it'll throw you off your spiel kind of deal. That's fun to do once you've been in it. I think I've said before. That was in the Elcano world. I was talking about serving, being a server in a restaurant. That's a job I think everyone should work. Well, everybody should be in some form of retail, certainly. Learn to deal with the public so that when you interact with the public, you are either a fun pleasure to be with, or you're at least aware of what people consider being a jerk at a minimum. And that's why I talk about it there. I don't think I was kind of as deep into it, but it fits into the attitude. If you had a reservation and the hotel fumbled it, and they're taking some time, they're doing their best to get you squared away, but it's not going smoothly on your vacation, you have a choice. What's your attitude going to be in there? Are you going to be the person that while they're working kind of says, hey, thank you, I'm counting on you, I don't know what I'm going to do next if this doesn't work out. This was absolutely what, I didn't make any backup plans. I don't know this town, and I don't have a place to stay. Help. Are you the person that's going to make them feel that, oh, wow, I can't let this person down? Or are you the person that is going to let the frustration of the moment take over, and your blood kind of boils, and you end up slamming your hands on the counter, and kind of getting huffy. Maybe you slip into some of the less appropriate language. You're not fully causing a scene, but you're getting that. You're letting them know that they made your life worse, right? And the alternative is letting them know that they're the person that can keep your life from getting bad, and you're putting yourself in their hands, and that all the way through, if they're the airline ticket counter person, right? That's a classic take your rage out on the person job. And again, I never no personal experience here, but everybody knows that the weather delays or whatever, and all of a sudden you got a million screaming people. Probably less now with the internet and phones, but back in the day, that was a real thing. When are you going to rebook me? And the poor ticket counter people, a big part of what they're getting paid in their salary is to deal with exactly that. The airlines understand customers are not going to be appreciative, but it's weather. There's nothing they can do about it, and having a contingency and all that is the best thing. But okay, so that airline ticket counter person, while they're kind of rhythmically tapping the keyboard, and you wonder if they're actually typing or just delaying the next customer. Those are the times to just, if you can, remind yourself that I am going to manage my attitude such that hopefully they will appreciate my circumstances and want to help me instead of wanting to just get me out of their grill. And that's a huge difference. And sir, you're giving us way too much time to talk about all this. I appreciate it, but any old time, I'm just checking the time on the episode. That's not to say be a pushover, right? And that's something that a lot of people, when you start talking about maintaining an attitude, it's natural to be a little defensive because we've all been conditioned by so much of the media in our lives. Wow, how much do we pay for Aqua Affinity? Again, not one that we're going to buy every day anyway, so not a big deal. But yeah, you don't have to be a pushover, and that's not what it is, but that it's not a free pass to just say, oh, I'm not getting my way. And if things don't turn out the way you want in exactly that situation, that doesn't mean that you then, okay, well, I tried and, I said thank you for trying to help me, but you still left me in the lurch. That doesn't mean that you just turn around and then, okay, well, now I held off. So like a bomb, it just built and built and built, or maybe a volcano instead of a bomb. The longer it goes without exploding or becoming active, erupting, the more powerful that will be because the pressure is just building up. No, you're, still, if the person was truly helpful and apologetic and trying to be polite and explain from their side what happened, their computer system went down, they apologized, they lost the reservation, or there was someone with a different name and inadvertently they got switched. If they're forthright and they're polite, gracious and apologetic, and clearly are trying to help you, then even if the result is not what you want, you have to accept that in good terms and say, I'm not happy with the result, but I'm still happy with you. And personally, I feel that's the most important time to give praise to an employee. Individually single them out to their manager, whatever. And you don't have to do it right there. It's not but that's the kind of time when you grab a comment card or you get the feedback email for whatever the branch is, or whatever business place it is. And you say, before you leave that conversation, things haven't gone the way you hoped, and you're walking away disappointed. And you don't have to hold back. You may say, I'm really afraid that you may have lost my business, but I'm going to say Carol because I always think Carol, the opposite side of Karen, right? But Carol, I totally appreciate how much you've tried to help me personally. And if you can articulate that back in feedback to a manager, that will go a long way to helping you determine whether you want to give that business another chance. And I've always done that. I've seen it go both ways, where you can explain not in person, if the circumstance or the manager comes over, the employee says, hey, this is kind of beyond my ability to help you with, let me bring over a manager who can maybe help you out. And they're not just obviously, passing the buck and trying to get out of their work. That's something to watch for. And again, don't be a pushover. But, if they say, hey, this is this is the best I've been able to do, and they've been transparent and apologetic. It doesn't work out the way you want. You didn't get the result, and you're walking, right? No good resolution has come of this. I've got to walk away. Thank the person by name and note their name on their name tag or whatever, and then take the time to give the feedback to the place. Sometimes you just can't. It's not that big a deal, or it's not that you're that personally invested or whatever. You've just gotten over it, or you found that you drove down the street, found a different hotel, and you were on vacation anyway. But if you can't, even then, on your phone, jot down the person's name, not right in front of them, but just, hey, your name's Carol, right? Carol, I want to thank you. You did such a nice job of trying to help me out, and I understand, I don't want you to think that my leaving is a reflection on you. You were great. The circumstances stunk. That's the bottom line. And, be friendly, kind of laugh about it and say, this is the worst outcome possible. I gotta just go online. I've got a friend or somebody who's said that they'll put me up for the night or whatever, but this is not what I was hoping for. Kind of walking away, but it wasn't your fault, and thank you for the time. They'll appreciate that. And then let the manager know, if you can, whoever the appropriate person is, send them an email. Swing back by at some other time. If it's a business you frequented a lot, and you kind of, at least have the facial recognition, or, a small restaurant or whatever where you've met the owner or talked to them, a time or two. Swing back by at a quiet time when they're not busy and just say, hey, I just wanted to let you know what went down. And if you start that with, and whether it's written as an email or something, you're never going to see the person again, or, kind of in that time, don't ambush them in the middle, expect them to leave a dinner rush if they're a restaurant manager or something. But, if they're in a quiet time, or you ask, hey, is there a time when I could just talk to you for a couple minutes? It won't take much of your time, but I just want to let you know what happened the other day. Then they'll be so appreciative. And when you say, despite it all, and I'm still on the fence whether I'll try you again or just go to the place down the road, but I wanted to let you know, as I do, that this person was fantastic. They were so nice and so trying to be helpful that I didn't want that opportunity to get lost. Boy, I tell you what, first of all, any manager who doesn't then turn around and go, well, here's a free, if it's the hotel, here's a free weekend coming up. We want you to just come and be our guests. You get the luxury suite. It'll be off season, or on a weeknight or something like that. Well, if they're not doing something like that, or if it's not a restaurant manager, it's like, look, you're coming in for a dinner. Give me a chance to show you that you're an important customer. First of all, that manager is then terrible. Maybe that's why your circumstances didn't go. But if nothing else, even if they're awful and don't respond, which at least they should thank you for the feedback. They should know that if there's a metric on dissatisfied customers or whatever, that gets noted, that the person's feedback was that at least the staff was excellent. And those are the kind of things that when you're if you ever are doing your own self-evaluations, these things all loop back, by the way, in case you haven't noticed. And, dude, I'd be happy to stop talking about this if you would just give me one of these few remaining trades. Oh, not that. But yeah, then if you're doing a self-evaluation, because I talked about, that's a continuation of the interview process, for the job you really want to have. A lot of times we don't take the job we ultimately want to be in just to get our foot in the door at a company or in an industry. We take the kind of entry level, or the job that's open at the time, and I would always be forthright in that too. Hey, I'm taking this call center job. I'm happy to do it, and I think that, from my work history and my skills on my resume, you'll agree that I'm well qualified, and I'll do my best to excel in that. But from day one, I want you to understand that's not my long-term goal here. I want to work forward for this company, and I think this will be a unique opportunity to learn the product, to learn about your customers, and to get to know people within the company. So we're both clear, and if it's appropriate, let them know. You guys, it seems, do grading periods in these increments. Is it twice a year? Is it yearly? Is it less? Is it informal? And never let them know, hey, you have me here, and I will not take anything else within this company or even look for a year, unless if you have been approached, or you feel that there's a better position for me, or you have your own contacts that you think would be a good fit, and it's too good to pass up, I'll listen to you. If you have recommendations, these are the kind of things I'd like to move into. If you see something, let me know. But I'm here for you for at least this long. Don't worry, I'm not going to jump ship. Usually managers will be they want to see motivated people. That's why they hired you, probably. So do that, but then as you go through your self-evaluations along the way, and that's entry level, right? If you're in a then established professional, a position that you've gotten because of a degree or work history that you've already had, any kind of senior level, or even just not a junior level position, those kind of things, again, expand out that timeline. They're not hiring you in to be a senior code writer or programmer for a year at a time, unless it's a contract. But, if they're hiring you on, that means that they want you around. So then, don't expect that after a year, they're excited to have you go look for opportunities within the company. That's not, again, talk to your manager and use those self-evaluation periods to kind of further your interview process and your development, but do so as you see have evidence of your own work experience to support that, and show, hey. So in the case of our Carol, right, she's at the hotel. She's looking to, let's say, she was the desk clerk. She's looking to become the front of house manager. I don't know all the positions in hotels. Never really worked in that industry, but she wants to manage the reservations and check-in type folks. It's not housekeeping. It's not the restaurants. It's not the property maintenance or management or anything like that, but maybe she wants the whole operations department of a small hotel eventually. Well, this is all experience, and when she goes into that self-evaluation or evaluation conversation, performance review for her front desk job, if that feedback has been passed back to her, she can bring it and say, hey, I've had these types of feedback that show, even in uncomfortable situations, customers appreciate what I bring to the business, and that shows that I'm a good representative of it. This is a reason why you can trust me to be the sole person on the overnight shift. That's the gateway to management. I've seen others do it, and that requires more trust, because there won't be another manager there to help if something goes bad. But these are examples, and usually the people that get those don't just have one. They got a whole stack to choose from. And so you kind of go into those self-evaluations or performance reviews with, what can I do to paint myself in a positive light, and how do I build a case either for a raise, although I don't think that just asking for more money in your job is usually a good fit. You want to kind of be that prima donna athlete that is showing them why they can't function without you and why it would be better to continue to make sure that it never crosses your mind to look for another job than to to risk losing you. So, yeah, don't just go with your hand out and say, well, I've been here for 10 years, I deserve a raise. If that's all you've got, you probably don't deserve a raise, right? But if you come in and, like I just described with Carol, you say, hey, I've mastered the 2 new kinds of software that we're running on our check-in stuff. So that's been really great. In today's world, right? I've adapted quickly to the COVID, and I've really embraced selling that part of our guest experience to people when they're checking in. Here's what we're doing. I never check somebody in without highlighting that their room will be clean, but then we won't enter it for the length of their stay until they check out, unless they ask us to, and at that point, and again, these things have all loosened up, right? This is kind of at the heart of the pandemic, but those are things that you can point to and say, everything that changed while I was in this period, I've embraced, I haven't resisted it, and I've done so without, oh man, you're making us learn a new kind of software for the reservation system. Don't be that person. That's the attitude, right? That's the person the manager's like, oh man, here we go. I'm going to have to tell them that corporate is making us change the reservation system. And Sally, totally out of the blue, not Carol. Maybe we'll call Karen. We just pile on the Karen meme. So Karen is the person that every time you've ever done anything in the past, she says it jokingly, but every time she's like, oh man, they're making us change it again. And you can almost set your watch by it, right? It's so predictable. And even though, if you call her on, she goes, oh, I'm just joking, it's good to be lighthearted about this. Carol, I've got to keep my name straight. Carol is going to be the one that goes, oh, yeah, it's going to take me, maybe take me a little bit of practice to get comfortable with this, but look, this really may help. We can set reservations 2 months in advance instead of 1. That's probably way too small for what hotels do. I don't know what it is. Or we can send confirmation texts back to our guests with that. We never could before. They really have, I've heard a lot of people asking, could we do that? I'm excited. Then, don't just be lip service, but turn it into, hey, this new reservation software is kind of tough. Do you mind if in some of the downtime I just set up and then erase a few test reservations? I don't want to throw off the system, but let your manager know, hey, I'm looking at an opportunity, man, cheaper and cheaper. I'm looking at an opportunity to get better at this without impacting the customer. And, they may quickly say, no, we don't want you to just be entering stuff into the real database, the real reservation database. But here, we're going to set you up with an account on the developer or the test one that they used when they were installing it. It's still there. You can make as many fake reservations as you want. It won't impact anything, and I think that's a great idea. From there, you turn that into, hey, I got to know this reservation system before my coworkers did because I spent a little bit of extra time, or I spent some downtime when, other people were out on smoke breaks. By the way, don't get me started about smoke breaks. So, I spent some time while other people were goofing on. I pick on the smokers, but whatever it is, while other people were sitting watching videos on their phone in the quiet hours of our shift, when everything, when there was nothing specific to do, I showed a little self restraint or self-application and said, no, I'm going to dig into what's not really fun, but I'm going to learn, I'm going to try to make the crazy reservations. So close. That's the closest we've been in a long time to something I wanted. yeah, you go try to break it. If you get, if you get those opportunities, go through, try to make it as complex. Imagine the worst scenarios of your day-to-day job, and try. And now all of a sudden, you could be a QA person too. But anyway, that's different thing. For our purposes, you've then learned the new software. You've familiarized yourself, self-motivated. That's something you can talk about. Everybody loves that. And maybe now you know it well enough to teach it to some of your peers. You can say, hey, since I spent that extra time, I put together a little cheat sheet. I made the 5 things, the 5 steps to do that are different in making a reservation in this system than our old one. And it really helped the rest of the team adapt to it. All of a sudden Karen, who was complaining about it and as always takes a long time and blames mistakes on a new system whenever we've had it, even she was using it pretty confidently and had to admit it was pretty nice. We didn't have to do confirmation callbacks to people on the reservations. We just sent these texts. She loves it now that she understands it. And I nobody told me to do that. I just did it. Well, that's your attitude taking shape. You're totally transforming the way that you respond to potentially bad situations, and we ran through a couple of them. And just like in gaming, you then roll those out into your own life. And again, we talked about from a customer, the customer at the airline, rather than the hotel, but anywhere. You don't have to be the pushover. You don't have to wait on staff that are obviously not trying. The one, if it goes the other way and the staff person is just, giving you that attitude that they couldn't care less, you're not important to them, and they will confirm their own belief that there's nothing they can do for you. They've already tried once and it didn't work, so go pound sand is kind of their attitude. Well, that's something. First of all, again, you never need to go out of your way to causing a scene isn't going to help anything. It may make you feel better just momentarily, but it's not gonna change the outcome. In fact, it's almost going to guarantee that from that point, nothing is going to get better. And, if you say, well, I scream at restaurants a lot and I always get new food, yeah, and your food probably gets spit in a lot. That's just the way it is. So don't go off the handle. Anytime you have to raise an uncomfortable subject with somebody, try to go out of your way to be nice. But if they do the opposite, and are awful in service, whatever, I kind of talked about the restaurant serving and all that, and that it's still a job. Don't be punitive, but do go, at some point talk to a manager or whatever and be like, hey, you've got to know I'm not coming back, and it's because Karen there totally, acted like I was an imposition on her when her job was to be my server, to serve me. It's customer service. I'm the customer, and she acted like I was the worst thing to happen to her life. And again, if you come in and act like you're the victim, the manager's going to kind of be like, whatever. But if you come in and say, I regret it. I don't ever want to have this conversation with you, but I'm telling you because honestly, after that, I don't think I'm coming back here. And you make it sound it shouldn't be, this is the attitude. You have to adopt this. It can't be an act. But, if you're genuinely, hey, this has been a favorite restaurant of mine. I've come here a long time, but this was so out of character and so unacceptable. Either it got to the point of being offensive to my family, or I had my kids with me and this person was, swearing or making inappropriate type jokes about, something, they didn't know the context and couldn't read the room kind of deal. Whatever it was, something was so bad that a place I've enjoyed and appreciated for, all this time, I'm not coming back to it. And it makes me feel bad to have to tell you this, but I need to tell you why. It's because of Karen. She's awful. Yeah, don't temper that with whatever the degree. Somebody forgetting your fries at Burger King is not the same level of offense as somebody insulting your mom while they're serving you dinner or something. I don't know, whatever. But there's a sliding scale there, right? You don't go flying off the handle or call a manager over. If it was they forgot or one silverware short at the table and you had to ask for it and they came and brought it to you. That's a little different than something you really need to personally call out a member of the staff for. So just a little grain of salt or salt, just a little common sense applied to these kind of things I'm talking about. Again, I don't know that any of this is interesting or not in the context of a video game recording, but maybe there's just one or two people out there that are looking for summer jobs, haven't yet. Think about your attitude and think about it when you're playing games, especially if you're playing with other people. Don't, if RNG hits you bad, or as the things that frustrate me, I think people are becoming pretty clear on. It's when the game seems to kind of stack the deck against you unexpectedly and unclearly. Why all of a sudden did the bees start congregating around the creeper? They could have been. They've never done that before, and now all of a sudden they're sitting on that spot, or a bat flying in between repeatedly. Those things that get under my skin, and we're all human, right? I'm not saying, oh, this is easy to do or it's perfect, but things to keep in mind, right? And that's why I talk about them to keep them fresh in my mind, and I hope that they become fresh in other people's minds, or a good reason to keep listening at random to some of these episodes. You may find a nugget that resonates with you guys. So I hope that's maybe one of them. Just remember, think about your attitude, whether it's you getting frustrated or whether it's interacting with other people or on the job with your family. We've already got a Sharp. That's a great price. Yeah, I think I've talked that one to death. We probably talked this episode to death, too. We've been through like 2 more days, no good trades. There we go, 207. I can't believe it. We just ran through an entire hour of content. We're out. At least I kept the fantasy again. We've seen that one recently, too. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. I hope some of this, again, once you get into just rolling RNG, it's going to be whatever pops into my head to talk about. If you have a topic, if you thought this one was boring and it sounded too much like real truth, and that makes you get twitchy in the middle of a video game stream, fine. Fair enough. Just leave me a comment and give me a topic, and I will... by the time I've received that comment, it'll probably be a few videos into the future, but I'll be happy to, kind of do a high-level Wikipedia stuff, as long as, remember, PG type 13. We're not, don't start asking me about, what your mommy and daddy did to make you. Not going there, and I'm not going to get into, like, politics, deep religion, any of that kind of stuff, where I'm not just sharing, my own background as a perspective on a story or something. I'm not going to try to convince you of anything, but yeah, I'd be happy to explore some topics. And again, we're super long. I should stop talking right now. So thank you guys so much. Until next time, I want you to take care of yourselves. If you can, take care of somebody else too, and definitely stick your head outside. Hopefully followed by your whole body. Go for a walk if it's nice. If it's nighttime or daytime, there's something nature's got out there for you to discover, whether it's just looking up at the stars or the clouds in the sky, whether it's an animal or something you don't normally see because you're normally not outside at that time. Just stand under on a front stoop or in your driveway if you got one, or go for a little walk around the block if you can safely. If it's the middle of the night, maybe get a glow stick or something. I don't know. Anyway, have fun out there. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for being here. Take care.